Okay, so hopefully this one is working now. Sorry, Ethan. Let me know. Apologies. Sorry about this. Editing on the fly as we go. Hopefully you can be able to hear me now. It's not as good camera quality, but for some reason, this is blinking green and white. Didn't realize it before going live. So if you missed all that, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the 90. Skip forward and go over a few seconds. That's really throwing me off now. We'll be looking at the preview. Thank you, Ethan, for letting me know as well. Thank you for that, because I would have carried on regardless. It's the disadvantage of going live at this time as well. Anyway, we'll get into a little bit of the game. We'll look back at the Sparta Moscow's performance. We'll touch on a little bit of Man United. Obviously, there's some lessons to be learned from both them. It's good. It seems like we're taking off in the right direction. There's definitely some real positives, in my opinion. But at the same time, there are some kind of negatives. So again, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll get straight into it. So the first thing, obviously, the Sparta Moscow performance. And again, one of the reasons why we didn't do a post-match conference, because I was busy doing other stuff in the evening, and I think a few of us was. We didn't manage to get around to it. And the first thing I want to say is, what a performance. I mean, I saw it work. Before I left work, it was 2-0 down. And then by the time, 4-3, to win it 4-3, but being 2-0 down, that is something. And it shows that we've got this mentality now. We're not going to give up. We're not going to sit back. And we've seen it in the past where Leicester City go 1 down, they start to play, and it's still not good enough. Sparta Moscow, from what I've seen, and bearing in mind this team beat Napoli, and Napoli smashed Legia Warsaw. I didn't watch the match, but 3-0. So they're a good team. So we'll have to see. Ethan, I can see some of you are in injuries. I'm going to come on to them in a second. But yeah, Daka 4 goals. I mean, what has been said is pretty much bang on. I mean, in terms of, we've covered a lot of this. I think he played fantastically from the highlights that I saw, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't do a post match, because I didn't watch the full match. If you didn't watch the full match, you can't really comment on it too much, and it's a bit strange because there's little nuances that you miss, and I've just watched the highlights, which is not the same thing. But yes, from what I hear as well, Samora was incredible, both in the Sparta Moscow game and also in the game against Man United as well. So there's some really good stuff hopefully coming from there. And anyway, let's get into we've touched a little bit on that. We'll talk about that. We'll move into what Brendan Rodgers said in his post-match conference. So in regards to that, yes, as he said already, Ethan has said, Brighton is injured for 2 to 3 weeks, which is a really, really bad shame. Let me try and say. So it's because of that tackle. And I saw that tackle again. It was flying around Twitter, and I go, how that wasn't a red? With United, you're thinking, against Sparta Moscow, how that wasn't a red, I have no idea. And the fact he's injured our players for 2 to 3 weeks, which is really, really annoying. I know he wasn't getting the team, but he's a great squad player. He's a player that we can bring on after 60 minutes and really kind of solidify the game. And I'm surprised Rodgers hasn't used him more, to be honest. I think he's a really, really good player. And he's not going to win us any games, but if we want to see out a result and everybody look a bit tired, he's a guy that'll come on and do fantastically. We'll come on to a little bit of formations in a bit as well. It's fantastic to hear. 2 other players that are fit, which is good, which we're missing for the Sparta Moscow game. Timothy Castagna is now fit as well. You're looking at the likes of Timothy Castagna and he goes, yep, he's fit, ready to go for that one as well. I think he had a slight injury, hamstring tweak, but he was no problem there. Jose Perez, another one who was unwell before the Russia game, and now he's fit, which is good to hear as well. So again, we're not losing players left, front, and centre. Ndidi is still injured, and that's still a big injury in my opinion. The fact that Ndidi's injured is not great for us. However, obviously having Perez and Castagna back, Perez has actually looked quite decent when he came on. And let's be real. A lot of us don't give him credit, but at the same time, if we criticize him, we have to give them credit where they're due. And I think a lot of that credit goes to Perez. I mean, in the Man United game, he came on, he had a plan, he had a duty to do. They're taking off Nacho, and they're taking off Nacho, who's kind of the number 10, and taking off Maddison, who's the number 10 as well. And he has to slot straight in there as the number 10. And he did fantastic. I think he did really well. He went for the juggler, and this is the Perez I want to see, taking on players a little bit more. Yes, it helped with Man United being just terrible as well, but we had to go. And if that was a performance like, I don't know, say the Crystal Palace performance, we don't get a win. We don't get a win. We maybe get a draw. We might lose that game. So it shows you the team are going in the right direction. It's funny, one thing as well to say that some people were calling for the manager's heads just a week ago when we played, not 2 weeks ago, sorry. Now you're seeing things turn around. It's amazing how things change, but at the same time, this is the way football is, especially with football Twitter. And the reason why I've said, I think on this platform, doesn't speak too much about that. Good evening, good afternoon, Doug. Hopefully you're doing well. If you can, go check out Doug's channel if you've not before. I've been on there multiple times. He's a lovely, lovely man. Very, very knowledgeable, a lot of football. If you want to watch his Monday show, Monday World of Football podcast, I think that's back at the moment. So make sure you go check that one out as well. Fantastic analysis, fantastic Doug is, and also the people on World Football podcast. Make sure you check them out. Which was fantastic. Anyway, back to the game. Ndidi is out. It will be another few weeks. But one player, obviously, Samore has stepped up massively in that position, and which is great to see. That we don't have. Before, we were waiting for Ndidi to get back. Oh my God, there's such a drop off from Mendy, such a drop off from Chowdhury. Now, Samore is only going to get better in time, and we're seeing a different Samore, like he was against in the Man United game, which I'll keep referencing back to because I didn't watch the Sparta Moscow game. The way that he performed, I think, was great. A lot of his performances is something he offers different to Ndidi. He's not a Ndidi seems to like get his legs round quite gangly and take a player and kick the ball that way. He's, I think, bulking up a little bit, so he's pushing players off the ball. But Samori is more of, I can take 4 players on and try and charge past all of them. We saw a little bit in pre-season, which was great to see. But now he's got his opportunity again with Ndidi injured. He's really taking it, and I think that's fantastic. Ethan puts in as well. We are making gradual progress. Still words to improve on. Yes, there definitely words to improve on. I mean, we've conceded 5 goals in 2 games, which is not great. But at the same time, we're winning games and getting this momentum. And there's a reason why they're not changing it. Again, we'll get onto formations in a little bit, but we're winning, and that's the main thing. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you win. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You mean we were done hard by against the Brighton game, for example. So we will have to see how that goes. But I think there's a really talented squad coming for that as well. We've talked about Castagna already. I think he's been one of our solid performers this season. Castagna on that left-hand side against Man United and was fantastic. A little bit of a tweak. Luke Thomas came in a wing-back position, which was fantastic. And some other news that I really want to touch on. James Justin is coming back soon. He's a massive player for us. I think so. He's going to take time. You know, look at Ricardo. I know we say the same thing every week, but however, with Ricardo coming back into the with JJ hopefully coming back into the team at the end of the year, like starting to make in a few different moves, we're hoping that he's going to be back and he's going to be solid because he's vital for the way we play. If we want to play wing backs, he can play there. If you want to play full backs, he can play there. If you want to play 3 at the back, he can go left or right. And that is such a massive thing, especially with Fafana being out, and he'll be a lot more as well. No problem. But yeah, sorry, I'm just reading the comments at the same time. It's weird doing it on my own. I normally do it with a couple of other people, but nobody's available at the moment. So I'm like, right, I've missed you guys. I'm definitely going to have to get something in for this one as well. So yes, JJ will be back soon, which is fantastic as well. Who do you think will start? Because again, I think some people are saying play the same team against. Where's it gone? Somebody in the comments said should play the same team as we get against Sparta Moscow or like against Man United, which will be good. But you got to remember players like Tillemans, Evans. Like we're expecting him to hit the ground running with this plantar fascia injury. It's going to make that hard. It's really, really going to make that hard for that thing to. It's going to come up again and again and again. Don't worry. Shout out to Ryan. Hopefully you're good. Yeah, can we leak up? I know I was supposed to go to Liverpool today, but for something else, but it didn't end up managing to happen. But next time, Samori is the next year. It's all right. Again, the signs are promising. He's going to hopefully develop into a good player from what we've seen. However, it's going to take time. Let's not rush into it. Just like we've done at the beginning of the season, we've not had a good start to the season. The last good results are a good step in the right direction. However, Brentford is going to be a real challenge. We'll look at some of the formations, some of their players as well, because to be honest, we're still weak at the back, and we know that we could shift 5 goals in 2 games. But what we've done is we've solidified those cam positions and made them really fire. And Jamie Vardy's putting them away, and now Patson Daka is putting them away. So happy for Patson Daka getting the 4 goals, but also the one against Man United. We were saying that on the post-match for the Man U game, so you can click on the channel and watch that there with Nandez and Tom as well. You can find that, and we were talking about how I think the whole crowd is really, really happy at the moment. And as Ethan said, yeah, Vardy's going to start. Pretty much, I think Brendan Rodgers in his press conference said about Jamie Vardy. We've been keeping Jamie's leg fresh for the League Cup. Excuse me. For the league games, hopefully he becomes more involved in the latter stages of Europe, keeping him full of energy and full of goals. Kelechi is a consistent performer. Patson was one we will want to give to Kane time and to adapt to our way of working. So now, I think I'm going to bring up Mad About Foxes again. One of the reasons why we didn't do many videos last week is because we met up with him. If you checked on Twitter, you'll be able to see that as well. He came over for the FCAs, but also for the Leicester Man United game. Well, what a game to perform to! I was thinking, oh, the atmosphere and blah blah blah, but people were really going off. This is something that he tweeted out recently as well. And I love how everybody's got these Zambian flags as well. That's so cool. Anyway, 119 goals. Yes, this is from goals and assists from 2021. So it's obviously. Kai Havertz wouldn't really fire then. Lukaku was playing in Italy back then. Patson Daka was playing in Austria. But look at these numbers. They are insane. It's so good. Again, really underrated trio and players. Really, really good performers. And it's something that I want to do. I want to realize at the end of the day that we are a team that is firing. And the goals are really coming in Europe and so on and so forth. Now that we're going to try and kick on to the next level, we're going to need that team to change and rotate a little bit more. I think Brendan Rodgers will do that when the team gets a little bit settled. We'll see certain players come in for Europe and certain players come in. But the thing is, the group is so tight. 6 points for Legia Warsaw, 4 for us, 4 for Napoli. Napoli are on +2 goal difference. We're on -1, I think, or 0. I can't remember which one it is. And then Sparta Moscow on 3. So it's literally the group of death is becoming the group of death because anybody could go up and anybody could go down. One result changes that massively. And we've still got everybody to play as well with each other. However, there's just so much good things happening at Leicester, especially in terms of going forward. Defensively, I think there's still a problem. Johnny Evans has massively helped out him coming back. Can't rely on him, I think, a lot of the time. Not in terms of his performance, but him being fit. And listen, we know he's got this injury and he can't play game in, game out. We might see some more rotation for the Brighton game, I think, as well, which will be quite cool. However, when it comes to the way that they perform and they work together, it just looks so much better with Johnny Evans. Here's the thing that I think you guys are going to slate me for, but I genuinely do think it's true. From speaking to Southampton fans, they realised that obviously they were laughing, going, "Why would you want Bertrand? Why would you want Vestergaard?" But then after a while, I think when we were going to buy him in 2020, I think 2020 it was, we went to buy him. He then went up another level. As for Southampton, it was really, really good. I think he could do the same thing for Leicester. It's going to take a while for him to click in. Yes, he's got no speed, but he's going to be a useful person. Do I think he's the answer? And would I like somebody else as a centre-back as well? Because let's face it, if we do get an injury to Amati or Sionchu, we are really clutching at straws. Then we have to play 2 at the back. And if it's not looking great. Timothy Castagne can drop into a back 3, which I'm not the best thrilled about. I mean, his best, we know what he is. His position is bombing up and down one of the wings at the side. And I think people are saying, yeah, Vestergaard is not great, but we've written players off in the past and they've come back. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I'm saying don't be surprised if it happens. Just like Kelechi. We thought Kelechi's career was dead and buried at Leicester City when he missed that penalty against Crystal Palace. Last December, we played them about Boxing Day, I want to say. Well, it was that really tough run of period, and we changed pretty much the entire team. You're looking at that and you're going, right, well, Leicester City have to find a way of not playing the same team game in, game out, because we're doing it at the moment and we can play. But I think the more we try and play this football with 3 at the back, we need to have multiple formations. We're doing it now because we need the confidence, we need the wins. I think my game goes up to my confidence in Leicester City, not that I'm unconfident, goes up to another level when we play 4 at the back and we're not conceding goals. I don't think we've got a clean sheet this season. I genuinely don't. I think every team has scored against us, apart from the first game of the season. Yeah, I think the first game of the season we played against Wolves. Apart from that, we've every single game pretty much that. Every single game we've conceded 1 or 2 or 3, and that's okay. I mean, as long as we're winning the games, it's not the best. Would I prefer to have a clean sheet? Sure, but I want to win the games, and that's all that matters for Leicester City, I think, at the end of the day. And one thing as well that I pointed out with Rodgers, he actually commented on Brentford, who I think are a good side. We'll get on some of the formations and stuff in a moment. I've kind of banged on a little bit. Let's do the formation, but yeah, we'll talk about that as we get up on screen. Hopefully my screens will lag out. I've realised sometimes it does. Okay, this was the Brentford lineup that we had, which was, yeah. So we've got Zanka, Janssen, Pinnock. Again, there is Aya, who was linked with us, the Celtic massive Norwegian centre half. Raya in goal, who I think is a great keeper. And what I like about them is they're doing kind of a similar thing to Leicester in terms of they're buying players, they're investing in young players. They've got that money ball kind of way of playing and way of investing, and it's kept them afloat financially. And they tend to be one of people's favourite teams in the Premier League. But these are the two I think people have mentioned in the comments already. Mwembo and Tony. Obviously, we were looking at, I don't know if we were looking at Tony or the fans were looking at Tony. He's kind of a backup to Jamie Vardy. But these two are linking up so well. He's one of the top scorers in the Championship, and he seems to have continued that form. And in terms of assists and stuff, he's hit the post, I think, 6 times. And there's no coincidence that if you hit the post 6 times, you've scored a couple, you're getting in some great positions to score some great goals. And I think that's going to come true for us. Tony is going to be a handful. Hopefully, somebody like Amati is going to be touch tight like he was to Ronaldo and just get everything away from him. He's going to be lethal in the air. And we know we're not the best at defending set pieces. He's going to be vital for that. I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I've tried to get a Brentford fan, so I don't know too much about Brentford apart from obviously we've played them. Does anybody remember the 2 times we played them previously? One this year and one the last season and one the season before. If anybody can name them, give us a shout because I think there'll be some good content there. Anyway. Yeah, we'll look on the formation. The 3-5-2, so we'll be coming against 2 big strikers. Now, when we're coming against the likes of Chelsea, when they're going to play Lukaku and Werner, for example, we're going to have to. This will be kind of a practice game. I know we've got them in the 20th about the 20th of October, around then, as well. So, yes, just want to say as well, just introduce Vestergaard at any point. I think, or you mean don't? I'm not sure. I think Vestergaard will come in. I think Johnny Evans will start. Vestergaard will finish. What's it called? Brendan Rodgers has come out as well as spoke about Vestergaard, and he said that he didn't expect him to play many minutes this season. He was supposed to build him into the team. He's not much of a preseason. He's not really trained, and he got an injury. So there is room for improvement with him. I think there is time to come. But he will come on for the last few minutes, I think, in the game, and just to see out the game. Because Johnny Evans, I mean, he's not even done preseason, remember? He's done a little bit of preseason before getting injured. He's been injured and not really been playing since, was it the FA Cup final where he played 26 minutes and went off? And it was one of the reasons why we didn't go through. And yes, as well. So the 2 times we played Brentford before, once I think we won 3-1 in, I think, the Cup last year when Maddison got a goal, Barnes got a goal, and I think Cengiz Under got the 3rd goal as well. We conceded 1, but that was a completely changed Brentford side. That is not the side that we're going to expect tomorrow. And the time before that was that amazing, I think, 1-0 goal from Dennis Pratt to James Justin to Kelechi Iheanacho, who was the start of it as well. And yes, we do have Brighton on Wednesday in the Cup. I'm trying to get somebody sorted for that as well. So fingers crossed we can get a guest. If you guys know a guest, send me him on Twitter or send them to Beyond the 90 and I'll tag them and we'd love to do a collab with them. That'd be awesome as well. So anyway, let's go on to the formations and things. Again, this is relatively similar. Everybody's going to think of this about the same thing. 3-5-2. We've not put Evans in. Schmeichel, because of course you're going to put Schmeichel in goal. I mean, Johnny Evans. Why do I keep saying Johnny? I've got Johnny Evans on the brain. Just so happy he's back. Danny Ward could come in, but I don't think he might play. I think against Brighton. But we've got to continue the momentum. So that's the team that I've got. Would you make any changes to this at all? I was thinking about dropping Castagna out, but he's honestly been one of our most consistent players. Maddison seems like he's got a bit of form. The one thing, again, I didn't watch the match, but against Man United, he was really good. He wasn't very good. He was getting back to the levels that we expect Maddison to be at. And I mean that in a positive way. He'll be picking up positions. pressing from the front. He was taking balls and going to this side of the wall, this side. He was getting to really good central areas and then missing the target against, from what I saw as well. He was missing the target, which is quite annoying. But he's playing this high-pressure football that we need from him. Hopefully, Brentford don't just smash him, because sometimes he is like Perez, where if he gets smashed multiple times, he just doesn't go into as many stuff as he probably should. Obviously, Pereira and Castagna as wing-backs. I think them two are fantastic. Pereira, I think, had a good game against Man United, but his levels are so high and we know he can achieve so much that defensively he's solid, and hopefully we can see the best of him going forward as well. Then we've kind of, I think it will change to like a 3-4-1 and then 2 in the middle. So Castagna playing higher up. Soyuncu, again, has been really decent of recent. Johnny Evans, obviously we mentioned before. Fantastic how he is. Yuri Tielemans has been purring. Obviously, he went off with a slight twinge from what we heard in the post-match. He then didn't manage to... He then is available and fit to start today. Some more I mentioned previously as well. And let's hope that Jamie Vardy can continue. I know they haven't played at the moment in terms of the Manchester and Liverpool are facing each other this weekend. So we'll see how Mo Salah does. But Jamie Vardy's on the same number of goals. And at the end of the day, if nobody's shouting about him, we need to shout about him, because he's our player and a lot of people would be writing him off. The fact is, he's becoming a Premier League... Well, he's becoming... I'd say give him a couple of seasons, he might become a Premier League great, depending on what he wins with Leicester and what happens, because his goals speak for themselves. His performances speak for themselves as well. He's an unbelievable striker, and we know this, and we need to keep shouting about him because he's just awesome, to be honest. Again, it depends on how everybody recovers against Moscow, I think as well. I do, but when it comes to later on and the fact that we've got EFL Cup and stuff, then I start changing the team more. But we need to continue the momentum that we've built over the last previous games, because the thing is, I could see it sliding down, and the performance against Man United was so far away. Part of it was Johnny Evans, part of it was they had a little bit of training and time to work on the formations and confidence and things. And Brooklyn puts another point as well. Tielemans to Maddison is linking up well, yep, and they're both taking up high positions. If you look at the formation they were kind of setting up with I went and watched the Man United game again, because I went, yeah, of course I would watch the Man United game again. It was so awesome. When they took that free kick for the first goal, Tielemans and Vardy and Iheanacho were alongside each other. Tielemans and Maddison were alongside each other, and then the wing backs were kind of pushed quite high up. So they were really attacking intent. There was a real intent to go and attack the ball. So it was kind of like a 3-1-4. I can't do the 4. 3-1-4-2. I think it was like really attacking and really wanted to go for it as well. But I think people were saying it's an ideal starting lineup. It as Ethan said. So it is. Rest Tielemans, I don't think we can afford to be honest. Apparently the performance dropped massively once he came off the pitch. We are reliant on him. I'd love to see Dewsbury Hall get a start, but I think he's more likely to get a start in the Carabao Cup as well. So Carabao Cup, you've probably seen as well. Ben Nelson's been training with the first team. Vontae Daly Campbell's been training with the first team as well. So these are players from the under-21 to under-23s that could go on to the next level as well, which is quite cool as well. So that is my lot, I think, today. Obviously, Brentford, one thing to say as well, obviously Chelsea have just smashed Norwich 7-0. However, you look back at the team that played, the Brentford team that played against Chelsea, and Chelsea fans will tell you they were lucky to hang on for the win. They played not very well. Brentford, they will attack you until the last minute of the game. And that's something to really look out for. And they're a team that is still, as kind of we were when we came up from the Championship, just going, we're in the Premier League and we're really happy to be here. And I'm really excited for this game. Kind of nervous. I would score predictions. I know that the Canadians don't do score predictions. What do you leave the comments what you think the score prediction will be down below. I think we could get a win, but we're not going to get a clean sheet. 2-1, 3-1, no, 3-2, 3-2. I'll say 3-2, because let me know what you think down below. But apart from that, that's been me today. I don't think there's anything else that we can touch on. Obviously, Patson Daka's incredible finish, and we're so glad we've got 3 strikers on there. Wasn't really a lot to talk about in the press conference. We've covered a lot of it already. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.